Artie, behave. Hello, viewers. I had to go live after today's breaking news on E. Jean Carroll accusing Trump of raping her in Bergdorf Goodman's back in the 1990s. Just waiting to see if anyone's going to join me here. We're going to do some readings on E. Jean Carroll. My Artemis and Lucy are fighting in the background, so I may have to step away from camera to go break up a kitty fight here in a minute. Hi, Gina. Hi, Rose. Happy Friday. Hi, Sherry. Hi, Wayne. Hello, Egypt. We're going to be looking at E. Jean Carroll tonight, the latest to accuse Trump of rape. I'm not seeing as many people coming into chat as usual. Am I freezing up? Is my chat freezing up? Hi, Melody. Hi, Rose. Hi, Carla. Or it's a Friday night. Everybody's having out having a good time. Hello, Bootsy. That's not buffering or anything, Wayne. Just checking while I'm shuffling here. So pardon to the readers who are watching or the viewers who watch this later. Good. Oh, that's right. It is summer solstice. It's raining here. I was going to go out in the labyrinth for summer solstice, but then it started raining. Hi, Susan. Hi, Melody. Still may go out at midnight. Yeah, Wayne, my best friend lives down in not too far from where you live, and her power's out. She's out driving around in her car to charge her phone up. So let's take a look at E. Jean Carroll. Did you guys catch her on the news? She was just on Lawrence O'Donnell. She's talking. She has come out today accusing Trump of raping her in Bergdorf Goodman's back in the 1990s. And she still has the coat she was wearing, so there could be DNA on it. She's never worn the coat again. She went home and hung it up in the closet. She also has two friends that validate her story, at least that she talked to them about it afterwards, at the time it happened. So let's take a look at E. Jean Carroll. I want to see first, is she telling the truth? Because, she's waited a long time to kind of come out. This is 16 women now that have come out about Trump sexually assaulting them. So why didn't she come out when so many of the other women were coming out? Let's just see. Is she telling the truth? Is there truth to her story? What actually happened? Well, Queen of Pentacles, she's down to earth. She was married to, what was his name? John Johnson, I think. He was a reporter, newscaster. She also had her own TV show, so she was well known. Let's take a look. So E. Jean Carroll, she's been planning to do this, to come out and tell the story. She's been planning for a while to do this. Her challenge was to walk away from it. She couldn't walk away from it. She felt like she needed to do this. And here she is sitting with the sword of truth in her hand. So yeah, she's telling the truth. She needed this story to be heard. In the past illumination on this situation, this feels like it has to do with her book, where she's telling the story her way. Crowning the reading, she's very, obviously anxiety ridden about coming out with this story. Near future judgment. Judgment card, it can be judgment of people coming down on her. It can be using her own judgment about things. But the last judgment that the judgment card's based on, the last judgment, it's about rebirth. Rebirth, new beginnings also. So I'm feeling rebirth off of this card in the near future, that it's giving her a new life, getting her truth told. But it's going to be a rebirth also for things around Donald Trump. New beginnings again this way, also Ace of Wands. And she's offering up her story. So let's take a look at, I wanted to see either the Queen of Swords or the Ace of Swords. I was asking in my mind to know she was telling the truth. So you guys that were watching Lawrence, I left Lawrence after watching E. Jean Carroll. Did you guys watch her interview? I thought she was quite believable. Kitties are doing fine tonight. Thank you, Dina. Artie and Lucy are play fighting, so you may hear them scuffling and mewing in the background. Lucy likes to keep Artie on his toes. So let's look at E. Jean Carroll. There's no statute of limitations for filing rape charges in New York. And she still has the coat she wore. She has not worn it since during the attack. So there could be Trump DNA on it. So let's take a look and see if she's going to file rape charges against Trump. Thank you guys for joining me tonight. Is E. Jean Carroll going to file rape charges against Donald Trump in New York? Yeah, I saw that too, that she didn't want to get into charges, but I want to see if she changes her mind. The Chariot. The Chariot can be about a vehicle or a journey. The Chariot can be about success. It can be about quick action also. What I feel is that she feels successful in just telling her story. She's confused right now on whether to press charges. She's still confused. She's conflicted. Crowning the reading, the challenge is from, it feels like all the other women that have also been attacked by him. Here's another validation. She's telling the truth. In the past, Ace of Swords. I wanted to see either the Queen of Swords or the Ace of Swords. We got the Queen of Swords in the first reading, Ace of Swords in this one, showing up in the recent past position because she's got her truth out now. And at the root of this, she's feeling a sense of loss, sorrow. Grief. Crowning the reading, she's trying to make plans. It's it's kind of interesting because the page of, or the two of wands, he's standing between two wands, so he can be conflicted like this way or that way. He's still making plans, he's still making decisions. So she's still conflicted is what I'm feeling off of her. It looks like someone offers her support in the near future. She doesn't like what's offered, though. The way the support's given, it burdens her even more. And Page of Wands, the messenger, will hear about it. So looks like somebody offers her support if she wanted to file charges, but she feels burdened by it. She's financially fine. She's financially in a good place. So she's showing here is the Nine of Pentacles, being able to live the life of luxury. But she feels like Trump got away with this, the thief that got away with this, the rapist that got away with this. There's a gift, Ace of Pentacles, a new start with this. Why does it always come down to money around Trump? Although Pentacles can represent an earthly energy coming down to earth. She's battle weary, but she's protecting herself. She's kind of protecting herself from getting into a lawsuit. She's kind of focused on just doing her work her way. Yeah, she sees him as the devil that has been doing this a long time, for years and years. So she knows that he's done this to many, many women. I was just talking to my friend before I got on here to do the live stream, and we were talking about, if there's 16 women that have come forward that, claim that Trump has sexually assaulted them, how many women are not coming forward? Because we know the numbers are probably double or triple that, that are afraid to come forward. So let's see how this impacts Trump. E. Jean Carroll's story, her book, her article in the New York Magazine. How is this going to affect Trump? Hey, everybody that's just joining. Hey, BB. How is E. Jean Carroll's story going to affect Trump? Happy solstice, everybody. Hi, Carrie. I'm a little earlier than I usually am when I go live. I usually don't go live till after Lawrence O'Donnell's over. But after I watched E. Jean Carroll's interview, I had to get on here. So how is this going to impact Donald Trump? Being accused of rape, full-on rape. Not just sexual assault, a full-on rape. He's already acting like he didn't know her, but there's pictures of them together with Ivana, his first wife, pictures with E. Jean Carroll, E. Jean Carroll and her husband. So the magician, is he going to try and manipulate this story? Wow, this is kind of bizarre. Trump showing up as the King of Cups. I've never had Trump show up as the King of Cups, but there's a signifier, King of Cups. So it's going to, cups are emotional. He's going to be very emotional about this. His challenge is to stay in the White House. There's still, at the root of this, there's money news still coming out regarding his family money. And then you add to all the financial stuff that's starting to come together. Here's E. Jean Carroll sitting right on top of him with her sword of truth. So it's adding fuel to the fire. All his cups are getting knocked over. He's mourning. He's in a loss. And he's thinking about walking away from it all. Here's the fool thinking about walking away from it all. We're still going to get the information on money laundering. That money laundering card just keeps coming up on Trump. We're still going to find out about the money laundering. They're making that connection. So it looks like to me the financials will still be crucial. Hey, Beth, I was just telling him I was talking to my friend who's driving around her car trying to charge up her phone because she got a storm and her power got knocked out. You guys, Beth that you see there is my best friend. She lives down in Tennessee. We've known each other since 4th grade, so almost 50 years. So let's see. When is all the financial stuff going to come out? Beth, since you just joined us, you'll find it interesting, so you don't have to back up. It did look like E. Jean Carroll was telling the truth. We were talking before I jumped off the phone with her to go live with you guys. So when Deutsche Bank and all the financial stuff, when is it coming in? Ooh, and the emissaries who carried the money. It's hidden from us right now. It's still a secret. It's hidden from us. The challenge is getting the information to the government. So we know the FBI is investigating Deutsche Bank. They're trying to get it into the government and then get it into Congress. At the root of this, they're working out the details, getting all the documents together. Recent past, the devil, tying it to the devil, crowning the reading, all the thievery is going to come out in this. It's gonna show the money's gonna show the agreements made between people, and in particular regarding some trips also. So trips to Moscow, like trying to build Trump Tower Moscow. There's a little bit of confusion with the paperwork, though. There's a little bit of confusion in the documents. Not everything is clear, but there are contractual or agreements that will be very clear. And then we'll have the legal repercussions from all of it, which will keep Trump awake at night. Yeah, the financials will be what gets him to walk away, the financial documents. So, have you guys watched my Trump video I did last night where it looks like he's got a illegitimate child? Lynette, I'm not sure I'm pronouncing your name right. The summer eclipses, if you listen to the astrologers, they all say yes, yes, yes. They're the way they're going to impact his chart. He's going to have a really rough summer. So let's take a look at if we're going to find out about this child, this illegitimate child. Is that coming out soon? After I did that video, a lot of people were commenting about the other readers who were also picking up on another child. So it's kind of interesting when something's in the ethers like that and several different readers are picking up on it. To me, it means something's getting ready to break on that front. So are we going to find out about this illegitimate child with Trump? Ooh, somebody's trying to pay off for silence. So right now, it feels like the woman is trying to just get to calmer waters. This is also a journey card. It's a difficult journey for her inwardly. It's a difficult journey for her. So her challenge is to keep it obscure. It's like she doesn't want to keep it obscure anymore. She's got a lot of anxiety over this. The moon in the recent past also implies that there are hidden things, secret things. The moon is a very feminine energy card, so relating to a woman. Crowning the reading, the world success and putting it on a world stage. There's someone here in the near future that's asking the right questions, that's going to shine a light on it. The Chariot does feel like it's going to happen pretty quickly. And here's the woman, Queen of Cups. This bond that she has with Trump. It actually does, usually this is a very loving card, sharing a loving mutual relationship. It doesn't feel very mutual. It just feels like it's a bond. It doesn't feel like love was involved. Yeah. We might not learn about this child until Trump's gone from office, until he's defeated and gone from office. So, yeah, King of Pentacles, until he's gone. He's going to try to buy her silence. He's going to try to pay her off to keep her silent, but I feel like that's going to change. There's going to be a change with that. So she's protecting herself from him. So it looks like his money won't go very far with her. Hey, everybody that's just joining. So we have Hope Hicks, the other night, wouldn't answer 155 questions. We have William Barr still obstructing justice right along with Trump. I want to see, will Congress start putting anyone in jail? Steve Mnuchin, William Barr, will they put anyone in jail for obstruction of Congress? Contempt of Congress. Well, thanks, Rita. Neptune is going retrograde, removing the veil over hidden things. And then soon Pluto will be conjunct with Neptune. So a lot of hidden things coming to light. They're focused on getting the moneyed news first, getting the moneyed documents. Let's see. They're waiting. They're waiting on the moneyed information, the finances. Yeah, they're waiting on the finances. The challenge is all the obstruction, all the gaslighting, but they've moved into action in the root of this. So they're already in action. They've been going back a ways on the documents that they've requested, going back quite a few years because they know it's been going on a long time. They're hoping for bipartisan support once they have the financial info. And that's when they launch their plan of what they're going to do next with Trump. He's on shaky footing over the financial documents, it looks like. So they'll move into action. They'll get their plan off the ground. I am getting that they're going to deal with the court systems to get some of these people that are obstructing and doing contempt of Congress. They're going to go through the court system to try to change their perspectives on things. And that's going to actually make them, like William Barr and all those guys, it's going to make them quite emotional. So, the moneyed information is coming soon. I've got the good news card here and the money, the gifts of money, the information about the gifts of money, that's coming soon. So let's look at Iran. Trump waited till the last second to stop a retaliation attack, he claims. What was it, Beth, you were saying earlier? He claimed that he asked how many civilian casualties will there be for if we attack Iran. And they told him 150 people would die, roughly. And he felt like because we had only lost a drone, that didn't seem balanced. But my friend Beth, who's in here, said Trump's not smart enough to ask how many people would die. He's not smart enough, and he doesn't care. He doesn't, he would attack and not care how many people died. He doesn't care about the kids at the border. So let's just see who is behind all this Iranian nightmare. I want to ask first, is the Saudi prince working with Bolton and Pompeo on this? Because I feel like that's where it started. let's take a look. I'm going to narrow the field a little. Let's take a look at the Saudi prince with Bolton and Pompeo. Did they work out this whole scheme to clinging to something they don't want anybody else to have? Clinging to their oil? Yeah, their relationship goes back a long time. Prior to their appointment in Trump's cabinet, the relationship with the Saudi prince and Bolton and Pompeo goes back a long time. Their challenge is to get people's emotions behind a war effort. That's their challenge. Right now, they're just waiting at the root of this. They're waiting to do anything else. The Queen of Swords here in the past, they've brought what they consider a form of justice to Iran. That's what I'm feeling, is they feel like what they did was just. I do feel like with the Saudi prince, I do feel like that he orchestrated this, and with agreements that he made with Bolton and Pompeo, that there were agreements made, and to do a show of strength. They have more plans they're trying to get off the ground also. Other things they're trying to incorporate into this. So they're trying to hide and gaslight what it's about. But there is an agreement. There is a bond between Pompeo, the prince, and Bolton. So let's just ask, will there be a war in Trump's time as president with Iran? The unholy three, yeah. Bolton drives me crazy. I just heard that the Trump will be gone before anything goes to war, but let's see what the cards say. Yeah, he's too burdened. He's too burdened to go into war. He knows it wouldn't go well. And again, that moneyed news is coming fast. So he's not going to be there to, the challenge is because it's coming fast. People are going to be talking about that. Yeah, so at the root of this, the government and Congress, Trump feels tied down in the past. So the government and Congress are going to get this moneyed news. And a lot of it's thanks to the Mueller report. That's Mueller crowning the reading here. and the things that Mueller passed off to the other investigators to continue investigating. So this FBI investigating a Deutsche Bank is because Mueller handed it off. So near future, we got the GOP party here having to face the sword of truth because of all the financial documents. So there's going to be a lot of fighting and bickering over that. But the evidence is strong. So Trump's gonna be waiting. He's not going to go into battle. It looks like he's afraid emotions will be running over too much. So he's waiting patiently and trying to heal emotions down a little bit. I don't think he'll go into war. Yeah, I don't feel like I've read on the children at the border several times, and I don't think it's going to change until the Democrats are back in power in the House and Senate. There's too much lack of transparency. There's no transparency in this regime. I call it a regime. It's not a presidential whatever. It's a regime. There's no transparency. So we have no idea what's going on with these kids or I have read on it, and it does look like some are being drawn into child trafficking. So I don't want to read on that tonight. Getting sexually abused, they're dying, they're not being cared for properly. It's hot. They probably don't even have air conditioning and everything else. Let's take a look at Hope Hicks, if they're going to get her back in to testify again, because I feel like they will, that they're going to go to the courts and say she has to answer the questions. They can't claim executive immunity or whatever it was, however they phrased it, some sort of immunity. I thought it was interesting, though, that the one thing that they learned from the transcripts from Hope's testimony is that they were afraid about a tape that was going to leak from Russia. So the PP tape is real. They were trying to put out fires over the tape from Russia. Hope Hicks, are they going to get you back in to testify again under court pressure to tell the whole story? It's going to be a big change. Hope feels constrained right now, because the lawyers won't let her talk. Trump won't let her talk. I actually feel like she's in a prison in her own mind. She doesn't want to talk either. So, but her challenge is the betrayal that's been done to our country. Here in the recent past, she feels victorious because the lawyers kept her from saying too much. At the root of this, the Congress is in waiting mode, again, waiting on the financial records. So it does feel like crowning the reading they feel successful in what they've gotten out of her so far, although they know there's more. I do feel like they will get her back in there to talk again, because here's the messenger. So they will get her in there to talk again. It'll be a little while though, patience, getting to calmer waters. So they'll probably have her come back in, because remember, like, even if Trump leaves, they're going to continue on with some of these investigations even after he's out of office. So they're kind of just hanging on right now at the moment. So again, they know the money news, the money information is what's going to silence Trump. So they're not too worried on Hope Hicks right now. I am going to take a look at Jared Kushner. And for those of you just joining, I started the video with readings on E. Jean Carroll. So you'll have to go back later and watch the beginning part. E. Jean Carroll came out today. She is a former reporter. She had her own TV show at one time back in the 90s. And her husband also was a newscaster. And she claims Trump raped her in Bergdorf Goodman's back in 1995, 1996. And she still has the coat dress. She had on a coat dress. I think she said it was a Donna Karan or an Incline coat dress. She still has it. She went home, took it off, hung it in the closet, never wore it again. So it could potentially have DNA on it. So let's take a look at Jared Kushner with this Deutsche Bank hiding some sketchy things that Jared Kushner did. Let's see how his summer's going over the next couple of months. All this investigations the FBI is doing into Deutsche Bank and Jared Kushner. How's that going to work out for Jared? Well, it's going to go right back to the King of Pentacles. It's going to go to the top, to Trump. So Jared's already had an offer he doesn't want. It's kind of interesting. Who's offered him, like they've offered him a chance to come clean, offered him a chance to talk to Congress. He's already had an offer he doesn't want, but his challenge is the Wheel of Fortune is turning. Time is up. Time is up. It feels like the things that he's done in the past, at the root of this, he's, clinging to his money. There's some strong evidence against him. There's some very strong evidence, and it's in the paperwork. 8 of Wands for me is about communication, or it can also be swift action, because it looks like arrows, blowing through the air. It's a usually 90% of the time for me, it's a card about communication. So it can be written or verbal communication, reports, documents, that kind of thing. So I just see all these documents. I'm just like flashing on all this paperwork, like just flying by piles and piles of documents that incriminate Jared. Jared's going to have to leave. He's going to run for the hills. He's going to be put in defense mode. It does involve overseas plans that he had. Feels like the investigators are going to charge in here. Yeah, and they're gonna tie Ivanka, the daughter, Ivanka, into it too, and the family money. There's just an abundance of networking. This card, a lot of times for me, I see it almost like computer wires. And it's about abundance. Usually it's about abundance of love or abundance of emotions, but I feel like it's just like this network, like this huge network in this particular reading. Yeah, the fool better be having some sleepless nights over this because he might be going away for a long time. I just heard somebody was reading the comment, has Ivanka flipped? I just heard no. She was on a fact-finding mission when she went and talked to Mueller's team. She just wanted to know anything that she could find to give back to her dad, any information. You guys like my new Radiant Rider Weight deck? My old deck I've been using for this deck is about 40 years old. It's so dirty on the sides now from handling it so much, but it's actually in pretty good shape when you consider how old it is. I'm not terribly hard on cards because I don't do that folding shuffle. I do a flat shuffle. But I love the Radiant Rider Weight. The colors seem to pop a little more. Shows up a little better. But they're newer, so they're a little glossier. So I keep having to turn them in the light so they don't reflect the light. So it's basically the same as the Rider Weight. The artwork, is pretty much the same. It's just a little more vibrant. I have some other decks I rarely use. My favorite's the Cat Black Golden Tarot. And you'll see like Psychic Violetta uses it. Linda G uses this. It's my favorite. It's made from collages of Renaissance art. But at nighttime, a lot of times it doesn't show up real well. It's a little bit washed out. I usually use this when I'm doing personal readings. You guys that have had personal readings with me know, unless I'm doing a health reading. Health readings, I go back to the Rider Weight, but personal readings, I tend to use that deck. I have the Mystical Cats Tarot deck, yes. And I have used it to read on people's pets, especially cats. I am also a pet psychic, so I can usually get into the thoughts of pets, and they'll tell me a little about their personalities. Yes, Miss Farfalo, you spelled it right. Cat Black with a K. I have numerous decks. It's kind of interesting. This table, the sides flip up, so I have decks in here. Like the Druid Craft is one of my favorites, but it's a larger size card, quite a bit larger. So it's harder for me to shuffle, and it takes up more space on the table. So this is the deck when I was dog sitting for my neighbor, I used over on her kitchen counter when I was doing readings for you guys. And you'll be happy to know I'm dog sitting in July, so I'll probably be pulling this deck out in July and using it at her house where I have space to do it. I have the Silver Witchcraft Tarot deck. I also have the Cat People Tarot deck. I don't like it as much as the Mystical Cats Tarot deck. I have a Thoth deck I rarely use. Lena Rodriguez uses the Thoth deck. Thoth or Thoth, I can't even remember. She uses it a lot, but I don't know why. It doesn't resonate with me as well, so I don't use it that often. Let's see on this side. Oh, I have the Akashic deck. This is the Mystical Cats Tarot deck. It's got little paw prints on this side, and the artwork is all cats. Quite lovely, but it's a little pastel. It's quite lovely artwork, so I use that a lot when I'm reading for either cat lovers or doing personal readings on pets. And then I have a drawer here. It's another version of the Rider-Waite deck. I forget what this one's called, but it's doesn't have the borders on it, but it's more kind of old world coloration on it also. It's quite lovely. It's basically the Rider-Waite without borders. I have decks that I don't even remember what they're called. This one I think is called the Lindstrat one. It has a lot of animals on it, and it's also very pastel-y. So I may try to do something on camera with it sometime because I like the deck itself. But it's hard to, I have to really hold the cards close so you can see the artwork. Oh, this deck that was so pretty, that's like the Rider-Waite without the borders. It's the Radiant Wise Spirit Tarot. I like that one. I think this is the Silver Witchcraft Tarot deck. It's quite pretty too. And then, quite funny, I have this oversized Rider-Waite deck. I used to use this a lot when I was younger, and I would do readings for people, and I would let them pull their own cards. I would spread these out on a big table, but you can see how much larger the cards are. They're huge. They're so hard to shuffle. I have I've got a few more decks on the other side. I won't pull them out, but I've got quite a few decks. There's another Golden Tarot deck that I don't like as much as the Cat Black one. The other deck does not have images on the regular minor arcana cards. There's only images on the major arcana. So I'm a visual person, so I like to have images on all the cards. So I read more the energy of the cards, and I need that stimulation of the visual. You'll find a lot of times I don't have always the exact interpretation of a card, because some of the cards I've programmed for me to mean something. Yeah, my table of drawers is great. I've got cards stashed everywhere in it. You'd never know. I keep pillowcases over the top of it because they're easy to take off and launder when Lucy gets her cat fur all over them. But the Cat Black deck is definitely my go-to favorite. I use this most of the time in personal readings if my lighting is good, because as you can see, like, it tends to glare when the lamp hits it. But the artwork on it is just beautiful. It's quite exquisite, and it feels great in my hands. Like, it just resonates with me. So when I do like past life readings or anything like that, I tend to use this when I do spiritual guidance, like angel guidance. Like, if somebody's going through something difficult and I'm just asking for angel guidance, this is always my go-to for that. There's a lot of angel imagery on this deck, so I'm very, very guided to this one in personal readings. So, is there anybody else in Trump world we need to take a look at tonight? Do I read my own cats? I did a reading one time in a video on YouTube. I had out the Mystical Cats deck, and Lucy was sitting there, and I did a quick reading on Lucy. It was quite funny. I can't remember what video that was in. It was back in like December or January. So William Barr, you want to see what's up with William Barr? I did a quick read to see if anybody would be held in contempt of Congress and be thrown in jail. It looked like they're going to hold off on that. Barr is very quiet after being such a Johnny on the spot everywhere. He's like missing in action now. Laura's burdened by something right now. Good. Past pets, yeah. Pets on the other side will come through for me just like humans as a medium. Oftentimes they'll actually come through as almost like humans. I had one lady I was reading for. I kept talking to her about her 13-year-old daughter, and it was her dog that had passed on that was 13 when it died. So it's kind of funny how pets come through. Other times I see them like running and leaping on you, or cats. Sometimes I'll just see like my one of my neighbors has a small Pomeranian. So if I flash on her dog, I'm like, okay, it's a small dog. It's a small dog. My neighbor on the other side of me has a big dog. And if I flash on a picture of her, I'm like, okay, it's a big dog. It's a bigger dog. So I'll get a feeling for the size. So let's just see here. William Barr. He is burdened. Almost forgot who I was reading on. So he's keeping secrets. He already knows some stuff. He's keeping secrets. We know that, right? His challenge is to keep refusing offers to cooperate, actually, because he feels like he's in control of the courts over here behind him in the past. He's launched his plan, basically, 3 of Wands at the root of this, but he's about to face a big change. So death card crowning the reading, there's about to be a big change that's in the ethers here. And looks like William Barr may end up retiring. The change is coming from the family finances, the information about that, and the moneyed news that's coming out. How the money was integrated. So yeah, and who was working with Putin? Who was taking money from Putin? So all of this coming out in the justice system, in the judicial system, and also in the Congress will force William Barr to retire. It's going to be justice on Trump, but it'll also force Barr to retire. It's interesting. Mueller is going to testify. I read on him last Friday night in the live feed. So let me see if I can. They're shutting down what in July for 6 weeks. July into the first 2 weeks of August. Is that when they shut down Congress? Oh, Miss B.S. Hancock. Let's ask that. Will Trump resign, or will he leave office on the anniversary of when Richard Nixon resigned in August? I had that in my Richard Nixon notes. It's like August 8th or August 9th. Will Trump leave on the same day on the anniversary of Nixon's leaving? It's a maybe. It's doing a little maybe. I keep getting that he's going to be gone in August, so if they get all the information together. Yeah, Eric Trump, let's check in with him. I haven't checked on him in a while. Do this one last Eric Trump. I try not to go too much over an hour because it gets too long for people watching later. I know it's fun when you're live in with me. Hey, Mallory. Hey, CJ. I'm just now catching some of the names of people that have been joining me. It's hard to read the comments and read cards too at the same time. Yeah, I enjoy doing the live feeds because I can do an hour video and it's already loaded on YouTube. If I did an hour video and tried to upload it to YouTube, it would have to upload overnight. It would take that long on my computer to upload. So I see that. Will there be raids by ICE this Sunday? I'm just going to ask my pendulum real quick for you. Will there be raids by ICE on Sunday at the borders? Pendulum saying yes. Pendulum saying yes. Let's look at Eric Trump. How's his summer going? How's the investigations going in state of New York? I want some state charges brought up in New York because they can't pardon state charges. Eric's got some anxiety. Something's keeping him awake at night. I just heard it's like he's sitting on pin cushions, like he's unbalanced. He's coming unhinged. His challenge is to work. He can't work. He's unhinged. At the root of this is his dad and all his foolish behavior, the fool. Recent past, Page of Swords. Looks like Donald has Eric doing some investigative work. This is the spy card, like the go-between, the inside man. So it looks to me like he's got Eric working as an inside man. Go-between. You know who he's spying on? What's his name? The guy from Trump organization that has immunity, that's been with them since the days of their dad. I can't think of his name. I could see his face, but this is him. I feel his energy on it. Weinberger. Wieselman. Thank you. Weiselman. This is Weiselman. So Eric is the go-between between Trump and Weiselman so that he can find out what Weiselman's giving up to the state of New York, because he's got immunity. And Eric's in chaos. He's just in chaos crowding the reading. With Weiselman here in the near future, there's new beginnings in that court case. Has to do with the family wealth and the financial security of the company is what I'm feeling there too. And waiting on money, but in the future, waiting on money. So what's funny is they're waiting on money because they don't have money. They're always, it's like in writing, the money's all illusionary. Changing the value of their properties up and down and all that kind of stuff. Weiselberg, yeah. So they're waiting on money even in the future because they don't have any. And there are people that are shining the light on this, investigators that are shining the light. Eric knows he's going down. He knows that the company is going down because they've been doing this a long time. They've been cooking the books. Why would they be waiting on the money in the future? Because there is none. They're always waiting. Wieselberg. I think it's Wieselberg. So there's Eric Trump caught in the middle as the inside man. And they can't get to their money overseas because then everybody will track down where he's stashing money overseas. So there you go, right? Let's just, since we checked on Eric, let's check on Don Jr. too. We'll be fair. We'll look at both brothers before I go. Yeah, there's not enough sage in our country to fumigate the White House after they're all out of there. Yeah, I go to people's houses and help them when they have like issues with ghosts in their house. Either helping to cross them over if they're earthbound, or at least saging. And usually I talk to them and let them know they're welcome, as long as they don't, aren't aggressive or anything, but have been known to kick a few ghosts out of houses too. I'm like, wow, the White House, the energy that's going to come out that after Trump's out of there is just so nasty. There's not enough sage. So Don Jr., how's your summer going? The world. He likes to be in the limelight. He likes to be on the world stage. Thinks he's a big success and all that, victory card, right? First thing, he thinks he's, how is it? Linda G says it, all that in a glass of tea. His challenge is the illumination that's coming on him and his finances. Yeah, at the root of this, they'd like to string him up by his heels. Yeah, he needs a different perspective. And he's about to get strung up by his heels by the courts in New York here, crowning the reading. He's about to get strung up in court. Recent past, I pulled 2 cards. He's kind of gone quiet for a little bit here. But when he talks, it's all illusion. It's all just illusion. It's all just a lie. Near future, he's up to his dirty tricks, trying to manipulate his way out of things with the courts. But they've got all the details of the money, what he's done. It's even going into Congress, into the government. Excuse me, and the investigators connected to Mueller looking into it also. So he's going to end up with federal and state charges. He's going to be lucky if he's not in jail over family finances. I actually see Don Jr. in jail. I can see him in an orange jumpsuit. I actually feel like it's kind of interesting. I keep seeing him in a burgundy jumpsuit. We'll have to look and see if there's a prison that uses burgundy instead of orange. Well, thank you guys for joining me tonight. I'm just reading some last comments. Oh, I do want to do a video that kind of tells my story, but I could tell you briefly. Like, I went to my first psychic when I was 19. He told me I was a healer and a teacher, and I was 19. I was in college. I was having a good time. I was like, well, okay, what's that mean? Hey, Tarot's Apprentice. The jumpsuits are pink in Arizona. Okay, so we got to find out where they're burgundy at. I keep seeing burgundy. So this particular psychic, I went to see him like every 2 years, and every time I would go, he would tell me I was a healer and a teacher, and I was like, yeah, okay. I had no idea what that meant. When I got into my late 20s, I finally, was settling down more and decided to investigate what does it mean to be a healer. And I read Barbara Brennan's books, Hands of Light and Light Emerging. And, this is back in the 1980s. So no computers or anything to look anything up on to the degree that we have now, right? I took a seminar with Barbara, and learned how to do healing energy work, channeling the energy the way that she does, which is done through a breathing technique. And I was already reading cards. I started reading tarot cards when I was about 19. But my, I always kind of had, a strong intuition, but my clairaudience opened up big time when I learned how to do healing energy work. So, of course, if you can hear your guides and angels and clairaudience, then of course you can hear dead people. So it's like a natural step. Most people, if they realize they've got clairaudience and they can hear their guides, they can also hear departed loved ones. But sometimes I get like flash images. Sometimes it's like a little movie reel running in my head. Other times I actually hear it. Sometimes I get smells. Especially when I'm doing healing energy work, I'll get a smell. Sometimes I'll get like twinges in my own body to tell me what part of their body was affected. So if I'm hooking into, a mother on the other side and she died of breast cancer, I'll get a twinge, to show me where she had cancer. Sorry, he's getting rid of a troll. But anyway, so I tried everything when I was in my 20s and 30s. I tried shamanic journeying and past life regression. I took seminars with Brian Weiss up in New York. And when I lived in New York, it was great because a lot of people would come there and I got to go to a lot of different seminars on the weekends and stuff. So you name it, I've kind of tried it. And I always say, do what resonates with you. Try everything. If something doesn't resonate with you, just let it go and you focus on the things that do. So I took this one weekend with Barbara Brennan and entourage of people learning how to sorry, trolls back. How to do healing energy work. And then once her school was quite expensive. Her school was like $20,000 a year. And I was like, oh my gosh, I couldn't afford that. So I was working full time and that was like half my salary at the time back in the 80s. So I just kept practicing. I practiced on my animals. I practiced on friends. My friend Beth, who was in here earlier, has some great stories about interesting things that have happened when I would practice on her and learn new things. And my guides just came in. I have a master teacher with me named Jeremiah, who sorry, the troll came back. So my guides came in and taught me more. And I actually, when I do healing energy work, it's not like Reiki. A lot of times I work from the astral body back into the physical. So it goes a little deeper than Reiki. I've actually done like some psychic surgeries and things like that. I have my specialties and I have my weaknesses with healing energy work. I have like autoimmune things. I am not very good with autoimmune issues. Inflammation, though, and swelling and cancer and skeletal issues, I'm really good with. Specific issues in certain organs, I'm really good with. But autoimmune, like Lyme disease, that kind of stuff, anything that messes up the autoimmune, even shingles and things like that, I'm not that great with. Healing energy, it just takes practice. Like I said, I had a cat that was, when I learned how to do healing energy work, she was 16 at the time, had just been diagnosed with kidney failure, was told she would live 6 months. which is kind of the normal timing, for cats when they get kidney failure. So I was practicing on her, and I could feel like her little kidneys inside. And I was working on her, and when she turned 18 years old, my vet was like, "What are you doing? Like, she shouldn't still be alive." She was a black cat. Her name was Morticia. I named her after Morticia Adams in the Adams family. It's a favorite pet name I have ever had. I called her Morty for short. But Morty, when she turned 18, the vet was like, "What are you doing?" So I told him, I was working on her doing energy work. Well, he had an old dog that was 17 that was not responding well to arthritis medicine. So I would go in on Saturdays and I would work on his dog. And he enjoyed watching me work and seeing how it worked. But it's healing energy work. I quit doing it in person a lot because I had a good friend who was sued by someone because he had her on the massage table working on her. And I worked with him a lot at the time, but he was working on her and she had her hand over the edge of the massage table and he didn't see it. And he was leaning over working on her, doing healing energy work. And he accidentally leaned his groin against her hand and she sued him for sexual harassment. And I was like, you know what? That's it. I'm not doing it in person anymore. So I tend to do it remotely most of the time. I've been successful working on burn patients, things like that, but I don't do healing energy work as much as I used to. I do keep a list when I do personal readings and health issues come up. I keep a list of people that I do energy work on every couple of nights. But I don't do as much as I used to because if I do it too late at night, I pull more energy in than I need to send. And it hypes me up. I will if I ever come on here doing a live feed and I'm talking 90 miles an hour, I've probably been doing healing energy work. It hypes me up. So I've been doing readings on the side for 40 years, probably. Just when I got laid off last year in retail, I decided I am not going back, or about a year and a half ago. I decided to try doing readings full time. So I've enjoyed doing all these personal readings for you guys. And healing energy work is it's probably the most significant thing I did to open myself up to clairaudience and brought my, when I had the clairaudience thing, it brought more flash visions with it and everything. So it's one thing that even if you're not into doing healing energy work, it does for some reason. Well, not for some reason. You're aligning your chakras. You're getting balance, and it just opens up everything. It opens up the third eye more. And yeah, there. It's interesting that there does seem to be an increase in multiple sclerosis, Nancy. I feel like there's a lot of things where our DNA is getting messed with by all the chemicals, Monsanto and all that. It just seems crazy. It was so rare when I was a child to meet anyone that had MS, and it does seem to be much more common. Now, the good thing is the drugs they have now for treating MS, they're much more successful with. And I do feel like MS will get cured by stem cell research. MS and Parkinson's disease will get cured by... Yeah, I need to get with Linda G, and find out when she wants to do a reading together. I was waiting on her to get back from Sedona and get rested up before I reached out to her, but we talked before she went about doing a video together. So I hope so. Tara's Apprentice, we need to do a video together one night. Now that you're working a little bit less. Is he still in here? I love doing readings with Tara's Apprentice. He always cracks me up. Yeah, I have a tendency to shuffle cards absent-mindedly, like when I'm in personal readings, even when I'm channeling or doing personal readings and tuning into spirit, I'll sit here and shuffle cards. It's kind of a distraction for me. Like you'll see some mediums will scribble on a notepad, like what's that Hollywood medium Tyler that's on TV? He scribbles on a notepad to distract his filters, the ego. It gets the ego out of the way. I shuffle. So you guys, I'm going to call it a night. Thank you for joining me. I know I got a little gibby gabby there towards the end, sharing a little of my story. Victoria Skirbo is actually going to do my numerology and Kabbalah tree of life for me. So I may share some info on that later after she does it. But I hope you guys have a wonderful weekend. Let's see what happens in the news that I need to read on this weekend, right? Happy summer solstice, everyone. Thank you all.